love playing a bit of Coldplay on the show, as I'm obviously an ex-UCLA, as are you, Ed. So we should be proud that they did good.
Oh, we're delighted. We're delighted. Anyway, talking of delight, and of an actual genuine delight, as opposed to famed Chris Martin-based delight, it's we've got a brilliant guest on this week.
So excited to have you on the show.
Yes,
Thanks so much, James.
It's Mr. James Max.
Hello. Hello. I'm amazed that you're excited.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited.
Why is this?
Just because I wasn't excited originally, but then you came rushing up the stairs, and it's like your cologne and your magnetism, and that's what's made me excited.
I see.
Yeah.
So what you're telling
Brooke's
me...
running around like a crazed loon.
Yeah, well, I am a crazy loon, but that's beside the point. So what you're telling me is that you didn't actually do some research to find some amazing, interesting facts about me that you could ask me.
I know plenty of facts about you.
Oh,
don't you?
And that didn't excite you?
No.
Oh. Actually, I'm not surprised by
innocent, but he knows
No,
everything,
because I always get excited. We had this guest on who was like the sleep artist, and all he did was he just paints in his sleep, and that's he doesn't do anything when he's awake. It's only worth money when he's asleep, right?
Yeah, but hang on a second. That's better than I can do. I can't do anything awake or asleep.
Yeah, well, but that's okay.
So you had a guess.
That's not true. That's not true. Look at you've been a top businessman, and now you've got a top media career.
Yes.
You could ask more.
No, actually, there's the first question straight away in terms of your media career, because I was looking. I found it really interesting because I was looking where all the best research is based. Obviously, Wikipedia. Thank you.
Obviously, yes.
There's a man who knows his stuff.
You've got to be very careful about Wikipedia because every so often somebody will do a little bit of sabotage.
But it was brilliant though, just the way it was structured, because it was like pre-Apprentice, the Apprentice, post-Apprentice. It's like this is like the life of Jesus right here. This is just where it all kicks off.
Well, I have to say, for a Jew, that's marvellous. It's interesting.
Jesus was a Jew too, so you guys got a lot in common.
Yeah, exactly. And then apparently the Jews killed them all. What's interesting though about Wikipedia is how that all started, because I didn't used to have a Wikipedia entry, and for a certain amount of time, a couple of years, I was on a small talk radio show thing called TalkSport.
Yeah.
And we used to do this afternoon show, and at the time, one of the co-presenters was Ian Wright, and he said, "You're not on Wikipedia. You should be on Wikipedia." Anyway, so one of the listeners then went off and created my Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So, and then there were all sorts of things which were wrong with it, and then lots of people got on there and started making rude comments.
Did you invent fridge magnets?
No.
That's one of the things that's got to go. It's just got to go.
Fridge magnets?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Is that on there?
Yeah, it is.
I like a fridge magnet.
Well, there we are.
I mean, they're very useful, but I haven't invented them. I haven't invented anything. But Wikipedia is a source of a certain amount of truth and a lot of bobbins. If you do what I do, inevitably there are going to be people who find it absolutely hilarious to go on there and then make up stuff.
Yeah.
And if it's inventive, leave it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
One can create myths, because, of course, perception is reality.
Of course, and so, but well, now you're sort of working in the media, you'd know this more than anyone. But do you? I actually read something interesting, and I'm not actually sure, because I can obviously remember you on The Apprentice.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it?
It was a long time ago.
Yes, I was thin and had more hair and less grey, and I was in my 30s at the time.
Yeah, well, maybe you would have got on better with Sir Alan if you'd waited a few more years, because then you know, slowly you will get more grey, and you know, and then you will look more like him. You will be reflecting.
And I don't think anybody in their 30s, certainly not in their mid or late 30s, has ever won.
No,
because you've got to be in your 20s. That's really... I didn't know that at the time, because when it's the first series, you don't know what the rules are.
Yeah.
And you don't know that you're being cast for television. You don't know that you're going to...
oh, really? You didn't know that?
Well, no, because I didn't realise that I was going to be the posh one, and then there was going to be the Asian one, and then there was going to be the stupid one, and the annoying one, and the this one, and the that one, and the la-la-la. You know, I didn't quite realise that that's how things... I was really naive going into this.
It's not fair, because you could have said to him, look, I think that's typecasting me. I can be posh. I can also be stupid and annoying. So I've got all...
I think I did, to be fair, I think I did try that quite adequately, and that's probably why I lasted as long as I did, because I didn't reflect the original casting that they had in mind for me.
Is it actually true that Alan Sugar said that he thought that maybe you were angling for a media career? Is that actually accurate? Because
no.
I just thought, because I heard that and I thought, well, listen, mate, your process for your business is on a TV show. I mean, do you not realise this is being filmed?
Not only is that a comment which is out there, it's also a comment which took a whole page and a half of his book, in which, and I have interviewed him subsequent to that, and his recollection of events is slightly different from mine.
Yeah.
And I think it's very easy to look at what I do now and say, oh, you only did it because you want to be famous. The thing is that at the time, the show wasn't anything. It was going to be tucked away on BBC Two. It was identified as a a business documentary with a prize at the end of it, if you like. And I don't think any of us knew, let alone Lord Sugar as he is now, or Nick or Margaret, they didn't realise that they were going to become national treasures. Oh, should we have a Margaret moment? I love Margaret. Yes, exactly. I love Margaret. I like Karen, but she's not Margaret.
Yeah.
Margaret is truly special.
They are quintessentially British, and they're just so understated. It's just
I have to say, just seeing as before we're on the actual subject of The Apprentice.
Oh yes.
I actually saw. I don't know if you saw the most recent episode. I did. Yes. It made me laugh a lot because I just think every so often you think, the researchers who work on that show are probably going to start running out of ideas soon. And their most recent one was essentially glorified bin men.
Well, actually, I thought that was a really good task. I thought for the first time, because the last series, it was almost as if we were seeing auditions for MasterChef. Because every week was a food task. It's like, shut up with the food task. What's that going to do with anything? This time around, at least we've got out of the farms, we've got out of the kitchen, and we're seeing something. And I thought, if there's anything, there have been some criticisms levelled at The Apprentice. Oh, can you really learn anything? Is there anything about it? Well, actually, what this task demonstrated is that you can start something from day one. You can earn something out of nothing. And if you make the wrong decisions and you got Edna on your team, it's a disaster. Oh, she was properly stupid. But I quite enjoyed that.
And also the other lesson is that you can still make money out of Amstrad, generally, if you find them in skips. You know, they've always got a resale scrap value. I think that's
I always enjoyed. We'll get back to Lord Sugar's book in a bit when he slagged me off for a page and a half. But I haven't forgotten, dear listener. No, the thing is that I always enjoyed Richard Hammond's comments about Amstrad. He was reviewing this car and he really didn't like it. And it was right in the middle of one series of The Apprentice or other. And he said, whiff of the Amstrad about it. And I just think that anybody who grew up in that period of time, Amstrad, one of the tasks we had to do was to sell a new Amstrad product, and it was utter bobbins. We were in the time when MP3 players were taking off, the future of CD players and everything else, and we had to market this thing, and it was just such a piece of
turn. Was it a camera, like a sellotape to a phone or something like that?
It was that sort of thing that then suddenly, I don't know...
High-tech Amstrad products.
Exactly, can then turn into a juicer. Yeah. And it's the sort of thing that you might find on QVC in the middle of the night.
A telephone that sends emails.
What was that?
Goodness.
Anyway, back to the book. So Lord Sugar has spent a lot of time saying about me that I only went on it to be famous. I think, of course, I've gone off and I've done things in the media, and I can understand why that might be levelled at me, but then so have other people. But what I said at the time was, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I don't think people realise, when you finish doing a show like that, a lot of businesses, or the sorts of businesses that I was in before, will not have somebody who has been on television. Yeah. They will not have you. So therefore, you have to reinvent yourself. So what I said was, look, I'm going to try and do stuff where I can use my expertise and experience in business and then go off and do stuff in the media. That's what I've done.
And also, it's probably more fun.
It is a lot. Well, it is a lot of fun. But I mean, I also think that I'm not terribly interested in being famous. I'm happy to be well known for what I do. Yeah. So if people want to listen to my radio shows and they say, oh, you know, we really enjoyed that, that's great. And if they know me because of that and they think I'm good at it, terrific. If you watch me on Sky News and you say, oh, this is great, you review the newspapers very well, it makes us laugh, or it's insightful, or have done a documentary, or so, absolutely fine. I'm not interested in going to the supermarket and people come out to going, oh, no, you. I mean, that's just weird. Just leave me alone. I'm trying to buy some bread, or I've got to get some dog food, or and then I look terrible because I haven't shaved.
They might start scrutinising your brand of dog food and then linking back to The Apprentice, and then you'd be sunk.
That's true. Now, talking of dog food, though, you see, I used to go for really highbrow dog food. Yeah, my dog is very special, but the thing is, he stopped eating it, and he wouldn't like it. So I'm afraid I've just gone for a bog standard brand.
What do you think of Every Dog? Did you
no, it was totally wrong. I would never buy a product which doesn't target itself and make me, as a dog owner, feel as if I'm doing the right thing by my dog and that my dog is a bit special. It was a basic error.
Yeah.
It's like, you personify your dog a bit too much, have some dog food made for you. It should be something like that.
We've got quite random emails, but I'm just going to read this one.
Oh, we have some questions from the dear listener?
Yes, we do.
My God.
One that's related
well, dear listener, send in some more. It would be hilarious to find out what you want to
The Apprentice, from Emily Francis, saying, lovely to have you on the show, James. How much of The Apprentice is set up?
I would say, I don't know about now, but certainly when I was doing it, I would say 85% of what you saw actually happened, and 15% of it wasn't made up, but sometimes if you've got 90 hours of film, you've got to cut it down, so sometimes they'll abridge something to tell a story.
Editing, you mean?
But very little was changed. I think the only things which are set up are the getting in and getting out of the car shots, which are always rather orchestrated, one or two walking across bridge shots, and with me, my firing was re-edited, and it wasn't as it happened.
Yeah.
Which would not happen today, post-Queengate, but they changed the order of firing, because they thought it looked better.
Yeah.
So I actually came third, not fourth. People say I'm bitter. I'm really not.
The Brooke Ed Show.
So the issue of the day.
Oh yes, your issue of the day. I was trying to remove myself away.
Extramarital affairs.
It's obviously very important.
Yes, we can't break away with it. They do exist.
Apparently so.
And
particularly if you're a footballer.
Nice little link there, because I was going to say...
He was waiting in the wings there, and then he strode forwards. Yeah. He went for goal.
Yeah, there's an
He's a pro, this boy.
every day about what's going on with the Ryan Giggs thing now, but a few weeks ago we wouldn't be able to talk about it.
When that embargo was lifted, I had the most splendid time.
I mean, it's
tweeting.
It's like a boil, isn't it?
I just went around saying Ryan Giggs.
I think most people did, but I think what's really interesting is what's happened.
Giggs.
Yeah, but I think what's happened subsequently when we find there are even more revelations about the man. I mean, what on earth was going through his head?
It just gets juicier and juicier, doesn't it?
And it does. And what on earth was going through the judges' heads when they thought that actually the protection of somebody's private life, when they are trying to gag people around them who have either been involved or otherwise, and they think that that is right in a society that does regard marriage as something that is something to be protected or something to be revered or respected in law, is quite extraordinary. And I do think, thankfully, that super injunctions for that kind of thing, I hope, have gone and been consigned. And well done, Twitter and social networking for. I mean, the jokes which were going around, the comments which were going around. And I think if we do live in a free and fair society, I want to get rid of a press that is forever nosing around. Was it right, for example, to have a tracer stuck to the back of John Terry's Range Rover so that paparazzi could find out where he was going to be? Absolutely not. That sort of practice, hacking into people's phones, that sort of practice, all of that should go, and the law should be there to uphold it, to make sure that people's privacy is not infringed upon unnecessarily. Having said that, if somebody is found out and they have done whatever they've done and you've found it out and you have substantial proof, sorry, you should be able to talk about it.
Yeah, I just think the beautiful thing about injunctions or anything like that is that it's, as you were saying, Brooke, like, as soon as you find one thing, there's suddenly all these other things, and it's just like a poor understanding of human psychology, right? If you say to someone, feel free to wander around the house, just don't look in that cupboard of closed mysteries.
Yes.
That's just the word. Of course they're going to. Like,
Absolutely, of course they are.
What is it? What else is going on?
But it makes a fuss. If he was the family man of football, I mean, what does that say? When he's been having an 8-year affair with his brother's wife, along with other couples.
And
he kept it
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly offers his brother 250 grand to keep Sturm. What kind of morality?
Why would
does anybody want to have an
him?
affair with my brother's wife?
Yeah.
Could use 250 grand, and they're moving to Australia, so a bit of travel money.
Yeah, but when you're worth 34 grand, you think, oh, hang on a second, I'm being bought off a bit cheap here.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm worth about 2 grand, so that for me would be brilliant. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
A second of my time.
I've got a lot of portable property, but I
have
found
you?
it. Yeah,
and a beard.
And a beard.
What's the beard worth?
The beard is worth. Well, it depends who to. There's different markets, really.
Are there?
On the homeless market, not that much.
No,
there's a lot of them.
There are a lot of them.
But to a man with sort of hair growth problems, this stuff keeps growing. It's like a plantation. It's a wig plantation.
Thank you so much, James, for joining us on the show.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, we haven't even talked about it.
I haven't even talked about anything.
I know.
Do you know why?
We didn't answer any more questions from the listener.
Do you know why, James? It's because you've come on and we've got into the talk. This is what you do. This is your element now.
You're too professional.
We could talk about your sort of your career, your corporate career before that, and all that kind of stuff. Could have done all that, right?
Could have done all that, but then dear listener would have been terribly bored, and and I was just deflecting away from the fact that obviously I talked about other people's affairs as opposed to my own.
Yeah.
And we'll run out of time. I can't even tell you.
Well,
I'm going to go now. I'm going to go, so I can't tell you.
Chloroform.
Thank you so much, James.
Bye.
Bye.